Deck building. It's always a complicated exercise and people are often lost when they're doing this, so I figured I've already done those in the past, giving you guys my way of deck building things and giving you some example. And we have the new set OPO 6 that just got out, and of course there are leaders that I want to build decks for, and there are others that I'm not that much interested. So I figure we could just jump into the One Piece card game simulator and deck build something and test the deck, see if it works. Hello everyone and welcome to Anything Geek. My name is Zero and today we're building a Moria deck. So I'm gonna move my head a bit and get me out of the way so you can see everything on the screen, except that if I put myself over here you're not gonna see the description of the card, so yeah, might as well stay in the corner. So we're just gonna set up the deck right now, Moria, and we're just gonna put the leader, so that's already done. And of course we're gonna be staying in black. And not gonna lie guys, this is gonna be focused on the Trilobite Pirate because I want to take full advantage of that archetype. And so to start off the deck building, what I usually do is always start with 5 pile of 10 cards. The first pile is gonna be the defense block of the deck, so that's gonna be the blockers and the 2k counters. The second pile is gonna be the low cost cards in the deck, early stuff to play to get a bit more inertia going. The third pile is gonna be the mid body on the board, so stuff that costs around 3 to 6 costs. The fourth is gonna be focused on mainly the bosses of the deck, so high cost cards that are above 6, like Moria for instance. And the fifth and last pile is gonna be focused on the events that I'm gonna include in the deck, events or stage. And I'm gonna adjust those as I go because given the possibilities and given what I want to do, I might add more of one and less of another. But first thing first, 2k counters and blockers. So if we look on the Trilobite type, we have Cerberus, which is all locals blockers. So we're gonna go with 4 of those, and we have Sindri, which is the 2k counter. So right now we have 8, and there's actually Perona, which is again another 2k counter, so we're gonna put her. But you can see she fills also the roles of the mid body because we have a 4 cost. And I know her effect is pretty solid and it combos really well with Absalom, which is another medium body. But right now we just have a simple blocker, but we also have the effect of Sindri that if our leader is Trilobite Pirate, we can trash 5 cards from the top of our deck, so we can feed the trash and get stuff back, because the effect of Moria is that we can play stuff from our trash on the board and we can play them active as well, so don't forget that. So as I was saying, Perona, he's pairing super well with Absalom because Perona actually gives minus cost to some cards and Absalom gets to KO those, so that's something that we want to take advantage of. So we already have like 8 2k counters blockers and 8 middle body, and giving the Trilobite Pirate a quick look, we can see that Hogback is also gonna be one of the key cards of this deck. On play you can return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck and put 1 Trilobite other than Dr. Hogback from your trash to your hand, so that's super interesting and that's something that we're gonna need because he can get any cards back. It's not cost or power limited, and if you're gonna be trashing some cards, which you're gonna do because of the leader's effect, you're gonna be discarding 1 from your hands and 2 from the top of your deck. There's a good chance that the boss Moria that you're gonna want in the deck is gonna be in the trash, so you're gonna need Hogback to actually get it back. So now you can see that mid bodies we are at 12 because that's 4, 8, 12, but as I said previously, Perona is also considered being in the 2k spots, 2k counters, so that's kind of a double employment. So right now we're still on curve for the 5x10 method, and we have all defense and our mid board setup. So now we need the early boards and we need some bosses. And of course I just mentioned it, so we're gonna put the 8 cost Moria in the deck. Of course that's a solid boss, and on play you can choose up to 1 cost 4 or less and up to 1 cost 2 or less character cards from your trash and play one of them and play the remaining rested. So that in turns allow us to just get back the blockers that we've lost along the way and play it active, and then we can play some on-play effect rested on the board. It won't matter because we're just recycling on-play effect at this point. And as far as bosses go in black, I'm not really sure what we can put without breaking like the dynamic of this deck, because the only thing that we can like necromance with this deck with Moria and Hogback are Trillerback Pirates, all cost 4 or cost 2 or less with the Moria, which is not defined in Trillerback, but we cannot like get the rest back. So it's really tough finding good bosses for this deck, but I would argue if you keep yourself in the Trillerback Pirate that you can make a pretty good combo between Oz and Gigolo of the Wind, because Oz cannot attack by default, but he has an activate main that you can KO a Trillerback Pirate character and then you can attack with Oz. And what you can do is KO Gigolo, because on KO Gigolo gives plus 1k power to one of your units for this turn. So you can recycle Gigolo every turn, KO it with Oz and attack your opponent for 8k. That's a bit of a stretch, of course, but as far as low cost cards in that archetype goes, Gigolo is actually super interesting. So I'm gonna put them both into my deck and breaking a bit what I just said with the 5x10. And I'm actually tempted to go with 4 Inas as, again, small bodies here for this deck, and more mid bodies than bosses. So we're supposed to have 10 boss, but we only have 4, so the 6 remaining can be put back into another categories of our choosing. And so I'm tempted to go with Ina and actually 4 Luchis in this deck, because Ina's handplay effect actually allows us to diminish further the cost of some cards, and Lucci is actually just a good KO overall. So if you place your cost reduction correctly, this shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now you can see that I have 10 spots left in the deck, which means that we need to look at the event and stage. And I'm a bit of a fan of the Trillerback stage, because for once you can rest the stage and just necro a cost 1 or 2 with the Trillerback type, but you have to get it back on the board rested. So what this will do is actually help you like get the Cinderies effect back, so that you can like loop her and feed your trash to play some more interesting stuff with your leaders and get stuff back with the other cards. But you can also use this to get your Gigolo back, because you're not gonna attack with it, and during your turn you're probably gonna sacrifice it for Oz. So I'm just gonna put 2 of those. I don't want to put too much. Also, we're gonna be something a bit more creative right now, because I think Meteor Volcano is a very good KO that you can combo with all your cost reduction stuff. So we're gonna put 2, but just 2. We're not gonna put any more than that. And I'm actually tempted to try Nothing Happened and Negative Hollow. So that would put us at 8 events if I go with 2 of those. Or should I go just with 1? Should I go with Board Protection? Actually, Nothing Happened is very good in our context, because we only have Moria, which is 8 cost or more. Everything else on our board can be protected with this card. I'm gonna go with 4 Nothing Happened. Bear in mind that you need to adjust this as you go and as you playtest your deck. Right now I'm just putting stuff together and see where this leads me. Now I do have 2 spots left and I think I want to capitalize even more on Nothing Happened, and I'm gonna maybe put 2 sabots in there just for fun. See where it leads and see how we can flex this spot once we try the deck. So now let's just try a game with that deck, and we're just gonna see if the decks that I just built is any efficient at all. Okay, so we go against a Nami and I wanna go first. Good spread curve. Should I keep or mule? I'm gonna mule. We have the scenery here that we can use to feed our trash, so we're gonna do that. And let's pass turn. So Moria is getting back a 4 cost or less from our trash. It's unfortunate that we've had both raw blue cheese in one swoop into our trash, but we can get back the Absalom actually. Now we also need to take into account that our opponent will not care at all for what we're gonna do. He's just gonna try to mill, so I'm actually tempted to just put 1 down on Moria, attack his leader, use the cards. We're gonna trash Siberius, and we're gonna try to get back, actually we're gonna get back Piranha and trash a card from his hands. Okay, he defended well. Let's end the turn. And I'm tempted to try to really focus on his hands and try to trash every card he has in hand using Piranha, to prevent him from playing the cards that he needs in order to mill. Let's just play the Sabo for now, because there's not really anything that we can really do about any of those. Let's trash the Gigolo and Sabo as part of the effect, so they're all protected. And now we're gonna have some real good power on the board that he's gonna have to deal with, because at some point he's gonna run out of cards in his hands and he's gonna be forced at some point to do something about it. So let's use the blocker. So now we're just gonna attack him with the board to start the turn. Okay, it's defending. Let's just activate Moria's effect. And I know most of my cards are in the 4th range, but I'm only planning on playing maybe the Nothing Happened counter effect, so I'm just gonna keep 3 dons. I'm just gonna put 2 on. Let's put 3 on Moria and attack the leader. We're gonna use the card action and put Sindri into the trash. And so we can now play a cost 4 or lower from the trash. So we're gonna play Hogback. So we just send back into our deck the cards that we need, and we're actually gonna get back Gigolo of the Wind. If you do know me, these things happen all the time. I just miscalculated that I actually needed the 2 downs to be engaged here for Moria's effect, so I don't have the rest to play the Nothing Happened event. He is still defending. Let's just play that right here and let's do the action. We're gonna tap 1 down and we're just gonna get back one of our character rested. So let's play Gigolo and pass the turn. He's playing a Zeph. I need to be careful with that, and he's aggressing Perona. So what I want here is still to defend, so I'm gonna use Gigolo for that. And here we have an interesting thing. We have Absalom that can KO a cost of 2 or less, and Zeph is a 5, and we don't have what we need, because if we had a Perona to be able to play her from the trash, we could reduce the cost of Zeph and play Absalom behind, but maybe we can try with Moria. Let's go for his life. And we're gonna select one card to trash. We're gonna select one of the nothing happens, and 2 cards have been added from my deck to the trash. It's only with the cost of 4 or less. And do we have a Perona? We have no Perona, guys. That's really bad. So what we're gonna do is actually we're gonna fetch one of our blockers, because that get played active, so we can use it to defend against Zeph. And right now I still have 3 dons to spare, so I think I'm gonna just put one on Perona, aggress him for 6k. Let's go as well with Hogback for 5k. And then we can put 2 dons on Gigolo. And now that we're here, we still have 3 dons to play potentially and nothing happen and protect the entirety of my board next turn. He did play a Hovery though. Okay, so he sent back one of my Hogback. This is, I mean, sure. Let's pass the turn and see what he do next. He has 2 life left and 24 cards in his deck. So he's going for board. Let's just like not goof around, just play nothing happened. All my board is immune now. And from my life I had another nothing happened. So let's just resolve, and there's nothing he can do about it. I can just use my blocker and I'm immune. So now we just got Oars, so we can potentially play this using Moria's effect. But at the same time we have a Moria SR in our trash, and I do want to play this. So I can potentially trash Oars with my leader Moria effect, and then play Hogback to get Moria into my hand, and then next turn I can get back Oars on the board. But then again, the nothing happened deck is like very interesting. Let's put a Dawn, and we're actually gonna go for his life. We're gonna use the card action. I'm gonna throw away, or maybe I should throw away. No, I should throw away Oars. There's still no Perona that were added, so now I need to get a card back from my trash to play active. Guys, really this is like, if I get the 2 blockers, I just need to be careful to keep 3 down active for nothing happens, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm gonna make my whole board immune, and he's not gonna be able to do any damage. Plus I get to draw a card from my life, so that's already cool. Okay, he overheated the Gigolo into my hand. That's okay. I'm just gonna play Hogback. Use the card action. I'm gonna send 2 cards back into my deck, and I'm gonna send back Sabo and Rob Lucci. And the cards that I want back in my hand is Moria. I'm in a very good position. Now I have 3 down open for nothing happened, and I can still aggress his life with Perona. He has 24 cards left. That's gonna be super tough for him to turn this around. So, of course, he's aggressing my Perona. He's trying to get my board somehow to be emptied, and so I'm gonna just go no blockers, use nothing happened, resolved. I'm immune. And if he tries to rush me with something, and with Zeph I still have 2 blockers, so that's actually a disgusting thing, guys. So first things first, let's attack with the board. We're gonna aggress with Perona. Still countering. And now we're gonna play the big Moria. We're gonna play it at the spot of Victoria Sindri. And so now we can play a cost 4 or less and cost 2 or less from my trash. So I want to play Oz, and the character I want to replace is Ogback. And there's a card that I want from my trash, and I want to play it rested, and that is gonna be Gigolo. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace Perona. So now I still have my leader and I still have stuff that I can do, so I'm just gonna go with a 7k attack on this leader. Still has 20 cards to go through. Let's end the turn and see what he does. There's no really good rush in blue. There's, I believe, the Usopp, so it's unlikely that he's gonna surprise me with anything. He's just gonna mainly attack with his leader and Zeph. And Zeph is trying to get to my life so that he can activate his effect. But it's not gonna happen. I have 2 blockers. He's trying to aggress the board. I'm just gonna go blocker, man. Oh, that's smart. That's smart. He returned my blockers so that Zeph has a better chance of getting through, but he didn't account for the defense that we have. We have 2k counters and some other cards in hand to help us counter. 9k. So we don't have no blockers. And we need to go up to 9k, so we need 5k counters. So we have 2, we have 1, and we need 2 more. That's 10k. With the cost of 1, and we can -4. So we can Hina deploy on his Zeph, so he's now a 1 cost or less, so we can actually KO with Meteor Volcano. And now I have just like all the firepower in the world. Okay, he takes it. Let's just KO, and now we give to Oz, and Oz is gonna attack with 8k. Love Metal, of course you do. And now with Moria, I'm gonna just... we need 2 downs. Potentially. So I'm just gonna attack like that. Let's try to force this. I'm gonna use the card action, kill my own stuff, and get back a blocker. Because again, he has no rush capability, so I know he's not gonna surprise me this turn. Just has his leader's attack, potentially a Usopp, and that's just it. Oh, just pass the turn. Okay, well, let's attack with Moria. That's your last life. I think he just gave up. Sure. Now I'm going to put... let's put Fold on Moria and attack. I'm gonna trash. Gonna use the card action. Trash. I'm gonna get back a Gigolo of the Wind. He has a pretty high defense. Gotta hand it to him. But now his trash is filled with like Deathwing that he used. So there's still a chance for us. We have 4 dawns left. Really nothing to lose. I'm gonna put... I'm gonna put 3 on Hina. and just still has 16 cards in his deck. Okay, so plus 1k for the turn. I'm gonna use Alls, KO Gigolo, give 1k to Alls, add the last done, 9k on his leaders. It's definitely defendable right now. He's at 13 cards. He has 1 card in hand, gonna get a new one from his draw phase, but that's it. Aggress my Alls with 9k. Let's block. Let's use the card action. We get back one of our Gigolo. So many Death Wings. So yeah, now we go Alls. We go 10k. Damn it. Jesus Christ, God. Okay, now you get it. But there you go, guys. As you see, Moria is kind of efficient, to say the least, when you get some combos going. Now, honestly, I just made that list on a whim right here because I thought it was cool, and that's kind of the deck that I want to build for him. But of course, other recipe will work as well, and I do have to say that if you build this deck in real life, it's gonna cost you a lot of money, because if you take a look at this deck that I made, it's not like, I mean, if you look at it, Sabos is already SRs, Lucci is SRs, Perona and Moria are SRs, and all those cards are fairly expensive right now. So it is not a cheap deck. I made it on the sim because it was unlimited, but you do have to realize it's gonna be an expensive deck if you make this specific list. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and if you still hear that means the video was at the very least entertaining to you, so please leave a like. Also remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to never miss anything geek. Bye guys.